For a more in-depth look at all the changes coming to Texas representation, we've got political analyst Harvey Kronberg back in studio. Harvey, as always, it's good to see you.
Good to be here again.
So, Harvey, we are 1 week away from the filing deadline, and a sixth Republican congressman from Texas now says they are not running again. So do you expect anyone else to drop out? And why do you think so many have done that already?
Well, the rumor mill doesn't suggest anymore, but I can tell you nationally, they're now talking something like 3 dozen Republicans not running again, which kind of tells you what the mood is in Congress. They're frankly useless. They're supposed to expect follow instruction more than anything else. They don't get to represent their districts. They represent a political party. They're afraid of their primary voters. There's just no fun being a member of Congress anymore, and it's not particularly productive for people who actually want to come there to go there to do something. And it speaks also to the fact right now the speaker kept them out of session for what, 45 days. He even on TV the other day, he said, "I'm no longer the speaker. I'm the counselor, a counselor for a bunch of members, or the psychologist for a bunch of members." When you've got that kind of narrow margin, it seems like the only way to get anything done in the United States House is with a discharge petition.
Well, staying focused on this filing deadline, many expect the Supreme Court to rule on these new congressional maps by that December 8th filing deadline, but they don't have to. Can you kind of game out for us what happens if they rule after that deadline?
Actually, even if they don't rule after that deadline, if they uphold the congressional map, or if they don't uphold the congressional map, the county chairman, the county commissioners' courts, are responsible for drawing precincts, and those precincts have to be done far enough in advance to be able to print ballots. And so there's like a 60-day window that you have to have from the time you know for sure what the lines are. If they continue with the map that was passed this last summer, if that is sustained, it probably won't be much of an issue. If it is not sustained, or if there are any changes that they require, it may well just push the primary back, and pushing the primary back creates enormous uncertainty.
Yeah. Over the weekend, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett told MS Now that she is closer to a yes on a Senate run than a no. She still says she will share her decision on the filing deadline next Monday. How would this shake up, or would it even shake up, the Democratic primary for Senate?
Well, I think from the Democratic side, purely from the primary, it would electrify the primary. I think you've got 2 fairly well-known candidates, but they pale in comparison to the name identification Jasmine Crockett has, and she continues to be a media darling on liberal media. So I keep coming back to the fact that James Tallarico initially demonstrated pretty enormous fundraising ability. I think she's got a national fundraising window that makes her a pretty compelling probability, not a possibility, but a probability for making the run, and that would galvanize Democrats, but it would certainly set. I think the loser in that might be Colin Allred, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, now on the Republican side of that race, a survey conducted just before Thanksgiving shows John Cornyn with a slight lead over Ken Paxton, with Wesley Hunt far behind. Every week, it seems a new poll comes out. What do you make of these results from the Peak Insights survey?
Well, it seems to me that Paxton has peaked in terms of his numbers. It hasn't been that Cornyn has gone up. It is that Paxton, the merciless attack ads that Cornyn has been running in particularly the Houston and Dallas markets have begun to have had serious effect. So they've driven up Paxton's negatives. Wesley Hunt is kind of where he's always been, high teens, low 20s. It increasingly looks like, though, he would push us into a runoff, and the theory is that Paxton is going to be the beneficiary in a runoff because typically the most inflamed, the most ideological folks are the ones that show up for runoffs. But this is a very different kind of a cycle. When the president's polling numbers are essentially 2-to-1 disapproval to approval rating, I think it throws everything into chaos. It takes a lot of the predictability of the pundit class off the table.
It seems like we have a lot of unanswered questions just before the primaries next year, so it should be a fun end to the year and a fun election season.
It makes college football look tame.
All right, that's all the time we have for now. Harvey Kronberg, as always, it's a pleasure talking to you.